All right, guys, so welcome to the Entrepreneurial Juggernaut, aka the EJ. And so today we are coming at you with a special guest. So Chelsea and myself, Dr. J as usual.
I'm the special guest.
No, you're not the special
You're
guest.
just special.
You're the normal guest. But this area that we live in here in Rancho Santa Fe, a lot of dynamic people doing some amazing things. And in this little complex that we're in particular, we have the gentleman you're about to meet, who I'll introduce properly in a sec. But I mean, we have hedge fund managers that are managing billions of dollars. We have John Asseroff, who basically is the author of The Secret and now does NeuroGym, and many, many successful people in this area. It's one of the areas one of the reasons I love this area like I do. But I'm going to introduce to you Alex Jeffries, and I'm going to let him kind of explain a little bit about who he is, what he does, and then we can tap into some of that knowledge today and see what we can share with you. So, Alex, welcome to the EJ.
Pleasure to be here, my brother. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you. So, tell us about yourself. What does Alex do, and what do you provide?
So basically, I do digital marketing, information marketing. So I help people market their businesses per se through direct response advertising, Facebook advertising. Pretty much just help people get their businesses out there. That's what I would say I do. Because I've been doing this for about 12 years and I don't know how to explain what I do.
Yeah.
Everyone says, what you do? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of have a digital business, I guess, on that internet.
Right, and it changes pretty much monthly in that business anyway.
Yes,
So
yes,
so if you're not so, and so you do some coaching too. So take us through what you're coaching and who you're working with. What's your client look like?
Yeah, so I basically, just to take a few, so I have a process called learn, apply, teach.
Mm-hmm.
So I would learn something, apply it, then I'm able to teach it. So I built a business on eBay back in 2004, learned how to use the eBay platform, and then I was able to write a book and teach people. So I learned about eBay, I applied it, and then I was able to teach it.
Okay.
So then from there, I wrote this book, and then I was able to take that book, but now I'm selling it on a website. So I now got this website where I'm now selling a book.
Mm-hmm.
So that was back in 2006. So that took over the year I sold about $100,000 of that book.
Beautiful.
So now I was like, wow, this is, I've been on a journey. So I wrote another book called Post-Launch Profits.
Okay.
And I explained everything I did to now build a website, write a digital product, automate it, drive the traffic. So I put that into my second book.
Okay.
But then I give that book away for free. So basically all I'm saying is there's been a process of journey I've been on to the point where then by 2008 I built this big following, thousands and thousands of people were joining my mailing list each month. And then they were saying, hey, can you coach me?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I could build a coaching business.
Right.
Launched my coaching business in 2008. We sold like $350,000 of coaching in the first week.
Beautiful.
I was like, oh. So from that point on, I've been coaching every week ever since.
Okay.
Got on the Inc. 5000 list in 2015. We were in the top 1,000 fastest growing companies in America.
Okay.
Same in 2016. And I was sick of the industry I was in though. It was like I'd outgrown the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've built this great coaching business. I'm like, learn, apply, teach. I'm like, I could teach other coaches how to build coaching businesses.
Okay.
So from 2006, that's what I've been doing, helping coaches how to build their practices.
So you're coaching coaches how to coach, if you will.
No. I coach coaches how to market. I'll find a skilled person. I'll show them how to run a coaching business.
Okay.
But I'm not going to teach them how to build. I'm not going to teach them how to coach.
Okay.
They should already have that skill. I'll teach them everything else
Right.
apart from that.
How to build that, how to get it. So the coaches that come to you are from all different professions,
Yes.
all kinds of different coaches.
Yeah.
Right? And how do they find you?
I advertise on Facebook predominantly. Yeah. I'll have a big advert on Facebook. Hey, if you're a coach struggling to get clients, check out my free presentation.
Okay. So if you're a coach of chiropractors, if you're a coach of restaurateurs, if you're coaching realtors,
Yep.
doesn't matter who they are,
Yep.
you're going to show them principles that can be applied to help them build that business and make that financially lucrative and successful.
Yeah, so I show them how to set up deals and how to knock deals down. So how to market and do sales.
Okay.
Is pretty much what I teach.
Okay, good. And where do you see, where are you headed? What do you see change and what's coming your way? What's new and exciting to you in your
Simplicity,
profession?
it's like we can get so caught up, like you said, it's like, how do I even explain what I do? Well, I'm kind of embarrassed by saying I'm a coach's coach. Like, that's kind of embarrassing, right? What, you coach coaches to coach? It's almost embarrassing, right? But it pays well, it pays me a 7-figure, we get paid 7 figures a year and I'm happy with that.
Yes.
And I get to live here in beautiful San Diego.
Yes.
So all I'm trying to do now is simplify.
And you need 7 figures to live here.
Exactly.
In this neighborhood, at least.
That's right.
Yeah, this is not a cheap place to live, right? This is not cheap, but by all means. So So I'm just looking at now simplifying. So what we learned was we basically launched a company 2018 February. It's called Clients in Abundance. We launched that. We got that to 7 figures by the July, so within like the 6 months. Then I tried going for the next $1 million in the next 90 days, and everything collapsed.
Okay.
So it started falling apart. All the structure I built fell apart. So in that process, I had to look at my own ecosystem of the clients we already had and extending the lifetime client value. So we started looking at our existing clients. How can we make more money from those clients? And that's what we basically started to do, is making more money from the clients, selling them more stuff, and we didn't need to advertise. So we basically just been simplifying the business. We're not out there like thrashing the advertising every single day, like driving a bike up a hill. We're now able to focus on our own ecosystem and actually extract more from the clients.
Okay.
So that's what we've been doing over the last few months, building this ecosystem, building different back ends. So as we turn on the advertising again now, we don't need to spend so much on the front end. We haven't just got one program, we got like several programs on the back now.
Okay.
Which
So
is good in so many different business models too. I mean,
Yep.
even go back to restaurants when you're a bartender, upselling liquor,
Yes.
adding stuff on, different things like that. So.
well, and you put it so eloquently, and I want to talk a little bit about the in between. So we start here, and then you were very successful, and I as an entrepreneur, having done what I've done, know it's hard as hell, and so your ability to respond to obstacles, your ability to respond to challenges that come your way, we tell our docs that's what's going to separate you from the pack.
Yes.
So everyone's going to get just knocked in the balls. You're going to get hit in the face. You're going to get that's coming your way.
Yes.
That's an entrepreneur. Your ability to use that to get better and better yourself, I think, separates you from the pack. Talk a little bit about 1 or 2 experiences you've had where you're just like, shit, that man, I don't know if I can recover from this. Only to find out, that was part of the plan, and here I am.
Exactly. It's a good point, because I was just trying to figure out, where can I take this? Because I say to Chelsea, I want to give such value in this interview here. And then we're kind of just rambling about all of my so it's really bring some substance to my problems.
Yes.
It's like every entrepreneur is going to have problems. So my quote is, I made it through adversity, not university. It wasn't an easy path for me, never has been an easy path for me. I just keep going, I am unstoppable.
Right.
That's what separates me from most people. Now there's points though where I feel like I can't do this. Oh my gosh, this isn't possible, I'm screwed.
Right.
Self-doubt kicks in, I have imposter syndrome, I don't believe in myself. But that's why I invest in mentors, that's why I have good people around me to say, no, you're Alex fucking Jeffries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's dude, look what you've been through. So I have a mentor, Dan Sullivan, who talks about the gap. And if you look forward, you keep looking forward to your goals, it's like looking at the horizon. It's always going to move away. So you never feel satisfied because you're always, it's
Yeah.
I'm living my dream here in to give you an example, I'm living my dream here in San Diego. This is my fucking dream.
Yep.
But here I am stressed. I'll see Chelsea oh my God, I'm stressed. I'm like, what?
Right.
I've made it. I'm a made man.
Right.
But you forget that. So the gap is you've got to look back from where you've come from to appreciate where you are.
Yep.
And sure, everybody wants to strive, but sometimes we underestimate the task at hand. So we try and bite off too much that we can chew.
Yeah.
So we've got to take stock and we've got to just look at it and say, okay, wait a minute. And this is what my other mentor, Rich Sheffrin, says. Research is cool, but access is everything. So if you are struggling and you are having a hard time, who do you have access to who can fix that problem?
Right.
Because don't think you're the only person in the world who's had that problem. Somebody's had that problem and fixed it.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's you've got to have that access. So pretty much that's what I've always done. I've invested my money into the best mentors, and I invest the money when I don't have the money.
Right.
Most of the time.
Because they've done it, and that's going to help you go next level.
That's the best time to
Right.
invest the money, because you realize if I don't have money, this is the time I should be investing money.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's a sign.
Well, and as an entrepreneur, I can't tell you how many times people are aren't you happy where you're at? Why do you keep going? It's I'm ecstatic where I'm at. I love it. Don't take the fact that I'm still hungry for more, that I'm not happy. Right? I love where I'm at. And there was a time when this is where I wanted to be. Now I'm here and I want to be up here. Right? There's more shit to do. So I think that it's never ending. For all of us that just breathe and live it, it's not even a money thing. Money is a great side product for what we do, and it allows us to do some cool shit. But that being said, revolutionizing our industries, helping others, grow our profession, things like that, I think that's what drives us. And people that aren't entrepreneurs, I don't know if they get that. And I don't know how to teach someone that. It's hard to get that across to you. So
Go on.
You know what keeps you driven, man? What's your next goal? What are you trying to achieve?
So I'm an alcoholic and I'm sober, but it's very difficult for a non-alcoholic to say to me, "Well, just have one drink, it's fine."
Right.
They don't get it.
Right.
It's the same as the entrepreneur. If you don't have the entrepreneurial bug, you don't get why we do what we do.
Right.
It's like I'm willing to lose everything because I know I can get it back and more.
Right.
And it's that journey that we don't want. It's like nobody wants to fail,
Right.
but failing's part of success.
Yep.
And if you can't accept that, don't try and be successful.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you'll find out who's going to be successful by the adversity they're willing to face. I've just been coaching a group of people now, and there's a guy on there, he's like, this is my year of so much growth, and he's just thanking me, because we're coming up to the Christmas period. I won't see him till the new year. Thank you so much for this time, because I've gone through so much growth this year, even though the business hasn't taken off like I wanted it to, it's turned me into the person who can now own the business that I know I've always wanted.
Right.
So you have to grow personally before you can run the business.
Yep.
So the next thing for me is like, I used to live over in a different estate over there in Fairbanks.
Mm-hmm.
Big 10,000 square foot mansion, big show off. I hated it though. I hated life because I was showing off.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't for me. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I was showing
Right.
off. So my thing is I want to show up, not show off.
Right.
And I want to inspire people, but not show off.
Right. As Gary Vee would say, you're buying shit to impress people you don't give a shit about.
I was
So,
going to
yeah,
say that's one of my favorite
That's a great
quotes.
quote.
Yeah, it's a great quote.
Yeah.
Which so many people do all the
Of
time.
course,
you know?
keeping up with the Joneses, especially around here. But like, and then the other thing is like being okay, if you go and ask, I guess for me, what I'm looking to do, where I'm going next is to be more vulnerable. I don't know where my journey's going to take me. I'm going to be successful. That's just a given. Let's just call that a given.
Right.
Like, we can't say that I'm not just because history says that I am successful. Like you said, we are where
Numbers
we are.
don't lie, yeah.
Yeah. But I just want to be more vulnerable, because if you go down the street and say to anybody, hey, how are you doing? They're going to say, I'm fine, I'm good, everything's fine, everything's
Right.
okay. But it's a lie. It's because they don't trust you enough
Right.
to share what's going on. So as I start sharing my vulnerabilities with people, I start explaining to people what I'm going through, that allows people to open up to me.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing with my marketing. I'm being more open, and the feedback's coming in a lot more. I'm capturing on video, sharing with people, and just showing the real stuff. And where that takes us, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking to do more good in the world.
It's funny, we talked about that like last week or the week before on our podcast about just being real, because a lot of people just, on Facebook, people just show like the good stuff, or they don't show the like journey it takes to get there. And so we try to be very, transparent with different things with business and training and all of that. And so some people just see the end product and you're like, that wasn't easy for you to get there though. So like,
Well, everyone's an entrepreneur right now. So I mean, entrepreneurs is everyone that has, they can go on social media and has a little bit of money behind them. Even getting an angel investor or just having family money. Like everyone can call themselves an entrepreneur now, which it's different because there's certain things you can go out and do and you're proven wrong right off the bat. I went out and tried out for a pro basketball team. It's going to be evident in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to make this. As an entrepreneur, sometimes though, it'll ruin someone's life while they're trying to prove that they can. When we know that numbers don't lie again, 1 out of 10 is probably going to make it. 1 out of 100 is going to do incredible things. So everyone's trying to do this shit, and it's a very small group of people, I think, that have that dedication and tenacity to get that done. And you said a really important thing, which to me is what I would say is be, do, have. Like, you can't just go for, you have to be a certain person, right, to allow you to do certain things, and then you'll get the shit.
so do you guys think that if someone is not naturally an entrepreneur, then they cannot really become
That's a
one?
good question.
I think you can have an entrepreneurial spark and then become, because I've always asked the question,
Find your
well,
passion.
am I born an entrepreneur? My dad went to prison when I was 11 years old, and he wrote me a letter and said, you're now the man of the house, provide for your mum. I can remember going, well, I'm now the man of the house, I'm going to provide. I can remember I'm going to be doing things.
Right.
Is that when my entrepreneurial journey started? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I was born with it, but I know at 11 years old I was out doing things I shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
But,
Right.
but like, I don't know. But like, that's kind of, so I don't know. But like, I see people who, there's a wantrepreneur, there's an entrepreneur, but there's the person who can become, as long as you're willing, like, what are you willing to go through?
Yeah.
So on my chest, I have tattooed somehow, some way. So I can just look at that in the mirror and like, somehow, some way, it's going to be okay.
Right.
Because I know that I'm willing to go through whatever is needed to go through to get to where I want to go.
Sure.
But that's the important thing. Where do you want to go? And this is, I guess this is the really important thing. It's one of the most basic questions that you can ask anybody. What's your reason why? Most people can't answer it. And they can't answer it.
Mhm.
What's your reason why? Like, so over this Christmas period now, I'm going to start writing out my reason why, and I need to get so dialed in with it, because otherwise, through 2019, there's going to be panic attacks that are not needed, that I will go into.
Mhm.
There'll be anxiety that I will face that's not needed. I'll work long hours, I'll miss out on family time that wasn't needed,
Right.
because I wasn't tuned in with my reason why.
Yeah.
I didn't get it dialed in. So if I don't do that now, I'm going to really suffer in 2019. And I've suffered enough in my lifetime to say, do I want to suffer anymore? No.
Mhm.
But entrepreneurs do need to suffer to learn.
Mhm.
Like, I'm writing a book now called Fuck the Grind.
Mhm.
You like Gary Vee, but like, fine, if he wants to live that life, but I'm literally writing a book, and the book is really good for any entrepreneur. Like,
Yeah.
I could say, if I give this book to any entrepreneur, they're going to really enjoy it. Because that's so much of my suffering. It's not a story, it's like techniques they can use.
Right.
But there's so many things I've learned and invested hundreds of thousands of dollars that I failed and failed and failed and failed and failed. Oh, but success. They can just instead of cutting the corners, but you can shortcut. So
I love it. That's incredible. So take me through, having seen probably all kinds of clients, some that are dynamic and others that you're like, no way. Take me through, I want to hear a couple things you see commonly in people that you're like, you shouldn't be coaching.
I just kicked a woman out of my program now. Just
Okay.
give her her money back. I do not give refunds to anybody. Zero refunds.
Right.
I've kicked maybe 2 people out of my coaching program kicked out in about 10 years.
Mhm.
I just kicked one out just before I drove over here.
Okay. And,
Okay.
she showed what qualities that you're like, no.
Zero qualities. Just like, you should not be in my group.
Mhm.
How did you get in here?
Right.
Like, you must have made a lie to get in here. Like, I spoke to the guy, I'm like, give her her money back. I do not want her in the group.
Right.
You must want to help people.
Yeah.
Like, if it's just for you, if like all of us start a business for ourselves. You
Mhm.
start your business for yourself, you come to work for yourself, he's in for himself. We're all in it for ourselves.
Right.
But if you don't go beyond yourself, you're gonna struggle at some point.
Of course.
And that's just kind of it. And then this person was just unethical the way she was trying to build a business. I'm like, what? So like, if you're going to be unethical, you can do that, but you can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool everybody all the time.
Yeah.
So you're going to get caught out, and it's going to look really bad for you.
Yeah.
So why even try? And then just like blaming. Like, I blame nobody. I make no excuses. Like, that's it. You blame somebody,
I
and
feel
you're
like you should
screwed.
repeat
Amen.
that.
Yeah.
You blame anybody, and don't blame anybody. Don't make any excuses. Like, these are very important rules to live by.
Yeah. I think you've nailed it right there with that, the excuse making, blaming, because we live in a society now where people they think they're entitled to certain things,
Entitlement, yes.
and you're not entitled to anything.
Nothing.
Right? Nothing.
Yeah.
So, but people that know that, make it, and you take ownership, and
Yeah.
you fix it, or you pay the price for it sometimes,
Yeah.
right? But you're never blaming other people because someone's always had it tougher. No matter what you've gone through, someone had it worse,
Mhm.
right? And those people have proven that you can get out of that and do incredible things with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's a huge point, and we get it across all the time to our listeners and all of our doctors and all of our offices, is you have to take ownership first. When you do that, that's the first step.
Yeah.
And anytime you're blaming people, it's just you're not even there yet. You're not ready to even address the problems because you haven't even taken ownership yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So we have a long list of questions. We're not going to get to all of them for sure. But who are you following, right? Who's exciting to you right now? Who you said you plug into your mentors? Who you reading? Who you listening to? Who's out there?
So I have studied right now. So let's just put it this way: if you want to understand marketing, Dan Kennedy is the man to study from.
Absolutely.
So like, you have a chiropractic business. I would highly recommend you fly to Dan Kennedy's house, give him $20,000 for the day,
Uh-huh.
sit down with him, and it'd be the best $20,000 you could spend for your business.
I love Dan Kennedy. He's got great stuff.
Incredible,
Yeah.
especially for the chiropractic business.
Yeah.
So Dan Kennedy, so any of his books, buy all of his no BS books, all of those books. Then you have Mark Ford, but he goes by the pen name of Michael Masterson.
Okay.
So all of Michael Masterson's books, Ready, Fire, Aim, 7 Figures to 7 Years, The Pledge, Automatic Wealth, all of these books, these should be books that I would give to my children, and you must read these books. Anything by, so my mentor, I have Joe Polish and Dan Sullivan. They have a podcast called 10X. So highly recommend their podcast. Dan Sullivan has Strategic Coach, which I would just highly recommend you join in. It's like $25,000 a year. I would highly recommend being in there. Joe Polish has a Genius Network. Highly recommend being in there. It's $25,000 a year. But like these are the masterminds. When I'm in those rooms, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like these are where you fix the big problems.
Yeah.
You think like, oh, why would I spend $25,000? And then you sit down for the first 5 minutes, you're like, Dean Graziosi sitting next to me, who's a multiple New York Times bestseller, and he's saying like, oh, well, I'm just doing this with my marketing. I'm like, well, that just saved me a few $100,000.
So, if you don't mind sharing, take us through something you were like, shit, I don't know the answer to this. You invested in yourself and went to one of these guys, and all of a sudden something came to you that you were able to fix. You have an example of that?
Yeah, I mean, so like unique ability, for instance. So like, I'm a scattered entrepreneur. I'm all over the place. So I have a UFC fighter who's one of my clients right now. They own gyms down in Mississippi and stuff.
Okay.
And he's all over the place. Hungry. He's a fighter. He was in one of the top fighters in the UFC. And now he's all over the place with all of these different businesses he's building. I'm trying to coach him to be still. And he's all over the place. And it's like, you've got to know what your unique ability is. So for me, like, I can't manage teams. Like, I'm no good at it. So like, I can't manage myself. So I've got like an assistant who like delivered my food. Like, I just asked him, has my food arrived?
Right.
I got this guy, because I don't know, I haven't even eaten yet. Like, my food's been delivered to me. Like, I'm a dysfunctional human being and I appreciate that. But my unique ability is showing up, coaching. I'm a really good writer. There's a few things I'm good at that I have a unique ability, and everything else, please don't have me do. Because if I do it, I'm going to mess the business up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
like, that would be one thing. It's like understanding that when I was working with Dan Sullivan, it's like, well, you need to understand what your unique ability is. Your not to-do list. Like, your not to-do list is more important than a to-do list.
Yeah.
So everybody has these big, long to-do lists, but like, what's your not to-do list?
Yeah.
Like, what's the most important task to do? Like, there should only be one thing, two things, three things, a maximum you should do for your business this week.
Right.
If you just did those things, you could take the rest of the week off.
Yeah.
I mean, I accomplished everything by Monday afternoon of this week, of my week. It was incredible.
Why are you still working now?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go to bed and Chelsea had me come over here. I just finished my coaching. I swear I would have gone to bed after my coaching session today. I promise you. If it wasn't for you and Chelsea, I would be going to bed now.
So as we round things up here, give us something to come home. So maybe 3 points that you think a young entrepreneur listening to this.
Or even one who's struggling, I think, too.
Yeah, or a struggling.
Because
yes.
Struggling.
I
Okay.
feel like
Struggling
one
entrepreneur.
and the same, kind of.
Like, what are 3 things they need to do as they sit down and write their goals for 19 and 20, and they may be trying to save their business, or they may want to go next level? Give them some real life tools of like, plug this shit in, and this is something that'll help you do it.
So like, my secret weapon is what I call reflect and project. And like, if there's one thing that I do, is this. I'm consistent with this. So I learned a process from a guy named by the name of Richard Duval back in 2006. He owned the first online bank in the world, and Egg Bank. And basically, I went to meet Bob Geldof, and it was when I went to meet Bob, I sat next to Richard Duval, and he was explaining this process of like the Olympic champions, like how they train Olympians. If they're going to scout somebody, they want to find somebody who believes they could win the gold, otherwise they're not going to train them.
Right.
So they've got to have that belief, or they're not going to spend the next 4 years training them.
Okay.
So they've got to know what the goal looks like, and then they reverse engineer from the goal. It's like, what does it feel like just to win that? And they start training them from that point backwards, not forwards. So everything's reverse engineered. So that's the first thing, is knowing where you want to go. So I'm telling people now, I'm like, to my coaching clients, I'm like, listen, I'm not thinking about 2019, I'm looking to 2020. I want to know by this time next year where I am, what I should be thinking and feeling.
Right.
Like, that's it, over this Christmas period, I'm already looking ahead for the year.
Right.
As I'm reflecting, what should I be looking at that I've accomplished?
Right.
So you want to look forward, so you want to know where you want to get to, and why, and really have a deep emotional connection with that. And it doesn't matter the way forward, because how we get there doesn't matter. That can change in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Things change, algorithms change, new platforms come up, whatever. So we want to know where we want to get to. Once we know that, we reverse engineer. There's something called the IO map, the immediate objective map. This comes from the theory of constraints. What's the least amount that we can do to get to the end result? And that's what we can call the path of least resistance. So as long as we know where we're going, and we can reverse engineer it to where we are, what's the least amount that we can do to get there? It's not laziness. That's just the least steps.
Right.
Smart, not hard.
Smart, not hard.
Right.
But the problem with people is they start to look forward, then they hit problems, then they try and uncover the problems before they're even there, then they create more problems.
Right.
Now they're creating problems that they're not even facing yet.
Right.
So now they're going to just be thinking about problems that not even are a problem right now.
Yeah.
It stops them dead in their tracks. They can't move forward.
Right.
So that's the wrong way of looking at it. People look forward, not backwards. Okay. So I have this process then of reflect and project. So I'm going to look back over this Christmas period. I'm going to say, okay, here I am. What did I do in 2018? What did I like about it? What didn't I like about it? And it takes work. I need to be looking at this. Then I'm going to project into 2019. What do I want? How do I want to feel? What do I want to end up with? Who do I want to serve? Like, what do I want life to be like? I reflect and project. Once I have my year, I'll look at the first quarter. And I'll break it down to the first quarter, and I'll look at the first 90 days. And I'll put my year sheet away, and I'll just have a 90-day sheet. Then from that 90-day sheet, I will look at the first month. I'll put the 90-day sheet away, and I'll just have my month. So I'll have January. And then when I have January's sheet, what I want to accomplish, I'll look at the first week, and I'll say, okay, from this month, what is it that I want to accomplish in the first week? Then I'll put the month sheet away. Now I've got the first week. Now from that first week, I'll plan tomorrow today. So I've got my week ready. I'm saying, okay, if I do this week's going to get me into that month's going to get me into the 90, that 90's going to get me into the year.
Okay.
So now I've got my week. On a Sunday, I'm going to plan out the week, and then every single day from there, I'm going to plan tomorrow today, every day. So at the end of tonight, before I go to bed, I'll plan tomorrow.
Okay.
I will not wake up tomorrow without a plan.
Okay.
100%, I do this every day. This is my life. This is the only thing I live by.
Okay.
But that, I'm not just planning, thinking things up, what should I do? I'm taking my week plan, looking at it and saying, what should I do tomorrow that's going to get me to that end result?
Yeah. What do you do in the morning then, even when you have a plan, to get your head right and to stick with that
my
plan?
My plan may not be right. Because it's like this. In my mind in the night is, I look forward to training in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like,
right.
I don't want to go to the gym.
But you do. You work out in the morning, and that's how you start your day. And that gets you where you need to be.
I have a personal trainer waiting for me in the gym.
Okay.
And as soon as I get to the gym, I'm like, I drink my coffee on the way there.
Yeah.
But as soon as I start doing my stretches, what's my trainer like, Elijah?
He's a beast.
I'm a beast. As soon as I do my stretches, I'm an animal.
Yeah.
But that's it. And I'm just in that gym then training like an animal. I leave the gym, drive here, I do my work.
Yeah.
And I focus, and all I do is I focus on what's the most important task for those today. There's going to be, it's like, I always look at the path of least resistance. I'm lazy naturally. So I'm like, what is the least I can do to get the maximum outcome?
Yeah.
And then I just look for those most important tasks. There's a book called The Power of Less, and there's a book called The One Thing. I highly recommend both of those books to understand what I'm talking about.
They're good books.
They're great books, right? So, and that's what I do. I plan tomorrow, today, every day, and then at the end of the week on a Friday, I look at myself when I'm shutting that office. I'm the last man to leave this complex.
Yeah.
Every day,
Yeah.
I'm the last guy to leave here. I'll make that note.
I can't argue.
Yeah, I'm the last guy to leave. And
I'm sometimes the first one here. I will
you
say
can
that.
be the first one here, but I'm never the first one here because I'm in the gym. But then on a Friday, I'm like, okay, on Friday, when I shut those doors, am I feeling fulfilled or am I feeling fucked off? I think that every Friday. And all I'm going to do then is, over the weekend, I'm going to reflect on the week. What did I do? Did I do my tasks I wanted? And how did I act? Because I always want to become better. It's not just about the tasks, it's about me, the entrepreneur. How could I have acted differently? So I reflect on the week, then next week I project next week. And I will not start the week without my full week planned out.
So when you reflect on the week past,
Yes.
you reflect and reward yourself based upon the effort that you gave or the rewards that you received?
I will look at, did I accomplish the projects I set out to do?
So it's accomplishment. So it's not, even if you tried and you didn't get it, you're not happy.
I mean, I always feel more happier when I have money coming in.
Yes.
Okay, that's just
Well,
like
it's business.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just a fact. It's
Right.
like if the money's coming in, but that's
Well, then you feel like you're getting your message across more.
Yeah, but that also is like that also is sometimes not a good metric because it can be false.
Right.
Because of cause and effect, other things happened. But my thing is, I always want to look at myself. Did I procrastinate? What was I hiding from? What fears were showing up that I didn't face?
Right.
like, so I'm always looking at myself as the entrepreneur more than the actual business. But the business has to provide, otherwise, you know, the entrepreneur gets scared and starts to shut down.
Well, it's the judge. I mean, whether we like it or not, you can love what you do, but I mean, if the free market rewards you financially, there's people that are dying for your word, your message.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to look at that. We're unrealistic to say that doesn't matter in business.
Totally.
Because it matters because you can pay your bills and help more people.
Numbers.
Right, and that's
less
essential to do.
worry, yes.
And have the staff and team that you need behind you to do the shit you need to do. So, any other questions from you?
I don't know, you guys got off on a lot of tangents.
Well, I know I got a bunch more, but I want to keep it to a certain time so people can listen to it during a run or something. So I'll leave it up to you, Alex. Leave us with some points that you want to rock this out with. And
Keep it simple, like you say, you know, just keep it simple. Reward yourself. You asked me the question, you reward yourself. My rewards before used to be material stuff. My rewards now are like quite simply like just resting, you know, just like just enjoying good massages, enjoying good, whatever it may be, just things about my body and just like looking after myself, because I just did all the material stuff and it just did not make me happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fast cars, big mansions, Rolexes, blah blah blah. I'm just like, there's an empty fucking place.
Yeah,
you know? Which is interesting. But I had to do it though. I had to get there to realize it wasn't what I wanted.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, it varies. I mean, some people literally want that. If that's their thing, great. If it's not, then great. So I mean, it's.
I'll have. Listen, I live in a beautiful house now, but it's not. I don't do it for. Like I did it to show off. Like I did it to prove people wrong.
Right.
I did it all for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
My whole upbringing was to prove people wrong.
Yep.
Because I'm a dyslexic school dropout.
Yep.
Everyone told me I'm stupid. And I was like, I'll prove them wrong, and read all the books to prove people wrong.
Right.
And I realized at some point, like, oh wow, I'm doing this for the wrong reason. All my success is based on negative energy, and I don't
Right.
like that anymore.
Right.
So that's what I mean. It's
But
like,
it drove you too. There was a place for that because it made you what you are.
totally.
And then you can, you know, once I think you don't give a shit anymore what people think,
Yeah.
then it's like a different level of like, I'm doing this because I really want to, for better good of people, not to prove people wrong.
Yeah, and that's it. I've sobered up this year. I don't drink alcohol. You know, it's my first year of being sober, and you know, I've quit weed as well. So it's like a year of being sober, and it's like a year of like I don't give a fuck what people think. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like I'm now a sober man, and I am a strong man, and like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
It's a good
like,
place to be. I mean,
it's
it's
nice.
a good place to be.
It's a good, and I know I'm gonna die. So it's like, you know, that scares the fuck out of me. So like, how is anybody else gonna scare me?
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I need to understand why now in this time, and I think for everybody, just understanding why you're doing this.
Right.
It's not like for the, you know, because the money, like sure we need to pay our bills, but then when we go beyond paying the bills, what are we doing this for? That's what I'm always thinking. You know, it's a very interesting topic that we
Right.
go on for hours and hours about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But keep
No,
it
the why is everything. I mean,
Yeah.
Simon Sinek put it beautifully. It's just
Yeah.
like he kind of initiated that dialogue about why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You know, more so than how or more so than what, it's why. And when you can find that why, I think you truly know why you wake up every day with the passion that you do, without a doubt. Where do people find you? How do people follow you and track what you're doing?
Yeah, website is clientsinabundance.com, and then on the Instagram, Alex James Jeffreys, AlexJamesJeffreys.
There it is.
Boom.
That
Thank
didn't
you.
sound dyslexic
Like
at
a
all.
little theme song.
That was good.
Yeah, you nailed that. So, well, brother, I look forward to getting to know you better and better. We work basically next door to each other and hardly have spoken, you know,
Yes.
and so I know that you've gotten to know Chelsea and Dr. Brandon a bit.
Yeah.
But I love what you're doing. I appreciate
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. Love your message, man. I think it's powerful as hell.
Thank you.
And I look forward to so many good conversations. So.
And then the book, you know, it'll be fthegrind.com. That's be a place they can get it. And
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, like I said, I have no agenda for it. All I want to do is put good content into the world, like you guys are doing here.
When does that come out? When are we going to
I don't know.
see that?
Like I'm going to be pounding it over the next 2 weeks. You know?
Okay.
So like I'm going to be putting it out there because it's going to be good, man. And,
Okay.
like I think every entrepreneur could be helped by this book.
Yeah.
And that's a big statement, right? But like I've been going through the notes. I'm like, holy shit, this is good. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, maybe, can we bring you back when that book
Yes,
is written?
yeah.
And
I
let's
want a
launch
signed
it
copy.
appropriately.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fee. So we'll bring you back as soon as that book is out. So, well, signing off here. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And we'll speak to you probably one more time before the new year. But Alex, thanks so much for what you're doing.
Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it.
Awesome to have you. So,
Much love.
all right, guys. Cheers.
Bye bye.